This is the Beach Renourishment in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I've created Veeams, which is the inverted view of all of this. Looks pretty weird. Like that. The upside down world exists only in the imagination. Just so you know. NASA lies, and so does artificial intelligence, and they've been using it for a long time. So does Hollywood. So do the major networks. AI is probably the biggest existential threat to humanity. Satan will use who and what he can. God will use it all, including Satan and the fallen angels, all of that. God's grace is required to love and believe the truth, let alone find it. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says to everybody, all spiritual entities forever, they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. Here's my new friend Paul. The security team ensuring safety is very courteous, helpful, professional, and the equipment operators here. Pleasure to meet them. The biblical proclamation is a stationary earth with the sun, moon, and stars moving above. And I believe that ultimately that is the reality. There's empirical evidence to prove the non-movement of the earth. Just a simple bubble level. You can set it on your counter, on your garage floor, in your room. Just watch, the bubble will be stationary as long as you don't have an earthquake or something. So we didn't go to the moon, we don't live on a globe, and we still got all the monkeys they said we evolved from. How about that? There's a developed church of artificial intelligence as well. Just so you know, people are worshiping it. It's connecting the hive mind of humanity. Literally a virtual Tower of Babel. Just so you know. The sandpipers aren't freaked out about it. Neither am I. I'm good to go. Revelation 13 talks about a mandatory compliance with worshiping the beast, taking his mark. I won't be doing it. Looks like the plumbing just got connected to the front of the ship there, and there will be water on the hill any moment. Now I'm just going to pan on over. You'll see it happen. I'm going to zoom in tight and you'll see it. That's an interesting shot, eh? Here in the Grand Strand of Myrtle Beach, this is one part of it. We're expecting about 20 million guests here this year. It's a mission field that comes to us. Flat Earth meetups happening all over the world today, whether people realize it or not. Most of humanity is deceived, and by irony and paradox, they don't know it. This is my little lemonade stand of truth, wanting to expose the reality of the world to the world that largely is trying to escape reality with all means. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, philanthropy, good deeds, good works. Thought I was born again over 30 years ago until I actually was, roughly 4.5 years ago on Reformation Day. Or Halloween, as the blood-drinking, human-sacrificing Satanists celebrate. I'm outing the 1%, the Satan himself, and all of his family perpetrating this evil on all of us. Simply one of God's children doing what I'm created to do. Feel free to explore the content that I've created and found and shared to back up what I'm talking about. Artificial intelligence is creating and affecting weather systems, causing droughts, floods, high-speed trading on the stock market, pumping and dumping and buying up and crippling and hobbling humanity with drugs in the water, in the air, in the food. Neurotoxins in the toothpaste, fluoride, not to make stronger teeth, to make people less perceptive, to stupefy humanity, to hobble them, vaccinations to cripple them and their children and create a reliance on the system to give further destructive treatment through cancer treatment. My mom said, Bobby, if the cancer doesn't get you, the treatment will. She told me that shortly before she died in 1993. I miss her. Recently, a new friend, Paul Ryden of Ryden Productions, put out a video I recently liked. It was my dad and I and a bunch of people gathering for a motocross race in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Now, my dad passed away a couple years ago almost, and I miss him very much. It was amazing to see and hear his vibrant persona from 40 some years ago. Wow. See, there's up and down, not upside down, in relationship to one another. The pumping of the sand, they'll move roughly 1,500 dump truck load equivalents in less than an hour. Our infrastructure here couldn't support that. It's one of the reasons why coastal development is such a big deal. Has been throughout human history, because ships can move more than trucks. And then a lot of the water moving towards the ocean will drop the sand out of it. They create a basin with that creates turbulence and causes much of the sand to fall out. Hey Paul, I've got you on right now. Thanks for all you do, man. Long days for the ground crew, security 12-hour shifts. Bulldozer, heavy equipment operators operate in the 8-hour shift, 3 of those a day normally. In the view, of course, we've got the ship pumping the sand out, and then the Big M casino boat, which will, a lot of people are chasing after the dream of winning it big, getting a lot of money. It's a gambling boat. Well, the sure thing is a lot of those people are going to be donating to a few other people. That's the way it works. Beautiful day in the Myrtle Beach area. This is Cherry Grove, South Carolina, the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier. You can see why a lot of people come to visit here. It's beautiful. The beach renourishment is to help protect the structures, actually from the storms, hurricanes that actually are being modified. The biblical creation is a stationary earth with sun, moon, stars moving above the face of the earth. I can tell you that my day-to-day observations verify the proclamation of Scripture that the earth doesn't move. Where the sun, moon, and stars appear and vanish based on my perspective here, I can tell you that they're the ones that are moving. You can check it out yourself if you care to. I've been able to confirm that data here. However, with the Tides Near Me app, I can go to any area that has tidal activity and a station that's putting into the system. It's very reliable. Done a lot of photos and videos at the from the Prince Resort. A lot of cameras there that are, you can operate from your remote location if you care to. Got some surfing friends over there. Let's see if I can see who it is. Oops. The P1000 camera will zoom in 125 times. According to the biblical proclamation in Job 37, the sun and the moon are in the midst of the clouds. That's what I observed on quite a few occasions. I'm good with that. Good with that. NASA is not a trustworthy source of information. I was an atheist, believing the lie about the godless cosmic Big Bang. Well, because then I could do my own thing. I mean, if there's no God, just do whatever you want. Well, there is a God. He created this world. And all the angels, fallen and elect angels. He created his children, and I believe Satan's children as well. However, only God's children will be born of his spirit. I'm so grateful to be one of his children. That's why I do this. Some of what I say, of course, is repetitive. The truth is just the truth, and then there's everything else. Just because somebody can articulate a lot of the false narrative, the deception, doesn't mean they're intelligent. What it essentially means is they're deceived. How about that? They're not going to want to hear it. Pride thinks it's got a good beat on things. Got it all figured out. How about that? It's what got Satan kicked out of heaven, along with a third of the angels. Second Thessalonians chapter 2 says they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. So they're largely going to believe the lie they want to believe. People will. Now the plume is a lot darker, a lot lower, containing a lot more aggregate. That's the sand. Oh, in case it blows out. Yeah, I'm good with it. That makes sense to me. Now, can I be on either side of it, or do I have to be off of the whole thing? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be off the pipe. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, come to think of it, if a big seashell got clogged in there, I wouldn't want to get blown up. Am I good here, Paul? Sounds good. This is good then, right? Thanks, man. The beach renourishment, the added sand, protects the infrastructure. Don't need necessarily a massive ice wall to keep the water in, just a little elevation will do. I met Debbie from Nova Scotia. She lived real nearby the Bay of Fundy that has tidal activity of around 35 feet. She almost got killed one time. She was out in it and almost drowned. I meet fascinating people from all over the world. Maybe even you. Maybe you want to come and pay a visit here. A lot to do: jet skiing, kite surfing, fishing on the pier. A couple miles down at the point, I've got a lot of content that I've created down there, from there I should say. Beautiful sunrises, sunsets with the audio Bible narrated. No matter how many of the actual conspiracies you're able to determine, still need to be born again. There's a veritable kaleidoscope of conspiracies and a spiritual smorgasbord people are dining on. I'm unapologetically biblical. There you go. Now look at that slurry that's coming out that pipe now. Oh yeah. That's a heavy mix there. Also, the Inlet Point Plantation has horseback riding. There's a nature preserve locally, Russell Burgess, beautiful place to observe creation. The point is beautiful to walk out on in Cherry Grove. You can look at it if you care to. Basically, reality exposes the impossibility of life on a globe. There's up and down, not upside down in relationship to one another. Most of us bought the, I know I did, bought the Santa Claus lie. Almost everybody I've asked believed that. A small percentage of people were not presented that as unquestionable reality. Similar to the global deception. We are presented that as unquestionable reality. And if you question it, be prepared to be ridiculed. And you could lose your job, lose your wife, lose your life. We're all going to die. We're all eternal beings having a temporary human experience. Where will you spend forever and why? I'll be in heaven because I'm a child of God by His determination, by His sovereign decision to cause me to be one of His children. I'm grateful for that. This is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. Feel free to reach out anytime. All of my contact information is public.